It has been brought to our attention during the Sweet 16 round of the Video Game Madness League that there has been some unethical actions taking place. We are now moving to a prepared statement, live via satellite.
First, I would like to thank some of the hosts for calling me and wishing me well on my recovery. Second, I want to apologize for the quality of this recording. It had to be done quickly and off hours, since my roommate is loud and I, astonishingly, did not get the private room I requested. Now for my prepared statement. It has been brought to my attention that the actions I performed on the 21st of February 2012, as described below, were not in alignment with league policy. I admit to, on no more than or less than 4 times, trying to trip Mega Man off the pyramid, thus granting unfair advantage to Q*bert. My actions were unfortunate and did not live up to the high standards of the Established Facts podcast, nor the high standards of the Video Game Challenge League. I should have allowed Q*bert to defeat that machine on his own, and my actions may have caused his downfall, so I especially apologize to Q*bert. Obviously, I believe that Mega Man's reaction was over the top, so my lawyer is looking into legal ramifications. With that said, I gladly accept the consequences for my actions and hope my fellow hosts, especially the ones who cared enough to check in on me, to forgive me. Hopefully, when I return after March Madness, we can move on from this tragic incident.
We here at the Established Facts do not condone such actions and are working with Derek and have admitted him into a rehab program to assure that his quality will increase before he comes back to the Established Facts.
You know, when I contacted him, he seemed to be in pretty high spirits.
That could be the drug speaking.
Most
Probably.
likely the drugs.
But, you know, we do what we can.
That's true.
So, Mike.
Greg.
Gumbel? No?
Bryant?
No, it was Greg. I got corrected.
By
Apparently,
who?
Greg
By
is the
who?
actual host that does the March Madness stuff. By one of our listeners, whether you see him on the blog as Cylon Mega Man or on Facebook as Christopher Kelly, he even said it on Facebook that he imagined Greg Gumbel announcing this thing as he heard our entrance music. So,
Hey, don't watch
All right,
March
then.
Madness to begin with.
Well, man, we have lots to report on what's going on in the Elite Eight this week. I'm going to let the guys report in so you can see who's all here. We're going to start over here with Big Don.
Well, this is Big Don.
This is Anton.
Josh is here.
And as always, I'm the host. I'm Mike. Derek will not be with us for the remainder of the Video Game Madness League. As I mentioned, we have admitted Derek into some rehab programs to try and...
Mostly anger management.
well,
He's got a thing for that Q*bert guy.
I guess.
According to his lawyers, though, there's nothing wrong with him.
Yeah.
Deep, deep.
Well,
Hopefully he can kind of overcome the
bleep.
challenges that he is facing, and he can join us back real soon. Derek, we do miss you. As we are moving on, we are in the heart of the bracket, and I'm just going to start plowing right through it. We're going to start on the West bracket with Mario and Sub-Zero. Whoo, buddy! I don't know if you watched this unfold, but it was kind of a barn burner. Donald, why don't you tell us what the heck happened between Mario and Sub-Zero?
well, I'll tell you what the heck happened. Sub-Zero showed up with a game plan that, unfortunately for him, was no match to the versatility of Mario. If any of you can remember some of the Mario games in the past, somehow he was able to store up a big advantage with a lot of his suits and powers and things like that, and use them to his advantage during his thank you, R2, during his fight against Sub-Zero. Because as we know, Sub-Zero is a cryomancer, And so he uses the manipulation and power of being able to use ice. Do we all have phones going off? Is that what happened? Everybody got a.
I don't exactly know.
We got a. My R2 unit over here is telling me that we all got.
We all have alerts going on.
I didn't get
Oh,
You sure you're gonna be able to complete your thoughts?
no, yeah. We could probably just.
I'll just continue.
We can edit it.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, during the Mario Sub-Zero battle, I'll tell you what, Sub-Zero is a heck of an opponent. In the first round, he matched up against Solid Snake, really solid.
Was that a cheap pun?
Well, you know,
Live from Indianapolis.
yeah, right. Cheap pun. Good grief, this is going so bad right now. Mario put a spanking on Sub-Zero. All right, can we just say, good grief? What is it? 16-3? Is that what happened? 16-3. Sub-Zero, you couldn't even hold in.
Way to trade
Good
it.
grief! Way to break the ice for this episode.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
So by a landslide
so,
victory,
yes.
I'll reel you back in,
Thank
Donald.
you. Good grief.
By a landslide,
Jeez.
we have Mario
Melting Sub-Zero.
melting Sub-Zero
That's
in
right. Bring that
Mushroom Kingdom.
fire flower on.
I told
right.
you it
I'll
was
be
going to
honest.
come down to
Hey,
fire versus
I'll
ice.
be honest. When I, Emerson would be proud of you right now. Sorry, bad English
Okay.
poetry.
Sure. Another bad pun?
Yeah,
Okay.
really bad one. I honestly, I voted for Mario in this round because of his versatility. We talked a little bit before we started our episode about, Mario has some disadvantages because if he gets hit once or twice, if he has the fire flower, he has the advantage of having to get hit 3 times before he can get taken out. Whereas Sub-Zero, as we all know, when you use Sub-Zero in a Mortal Kombat match, he does have a health bar, but if he loses twice, he's done. So I mean, I think that Mario's versatility really came in to help him in that matchup between him and Sub-Zero. So
Right on.
yeah, hopefully we can recover for the rest of the
Sub-Zero.
We'll see.
yeah.
We wish you farewell.
Adios.
Moving down the West bracket, we fall into the realm of Link and Simon Belmont.
That's right.
As you
Hyrule,
all
baby.
remember, there was the major upset in the West bracket during the first round of Simon Belmont beating Cloud.
As a matter of fact, we held funeral services for
oh,
Simon
yes,
last
we
week.
did. Yes, we did.
For Simon or Cloud?
Yes.
Well, absolutely. I mean, he goes after the. You know what? I screwed that up. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm allowed
Yeah.
to make the mistakes too. You and your bad poetry
Oh
puns.
my gosh.
Hey, Josh, can you save us as far as all this craziness that's going on?
I doubt it, but we can go ahead and try anyways.
Okay, tell us what happened. What was this mess of carnage going on between Link and Simon Belmont?
You know, the most interesting thing about this match, we sent Simon into Hyrule, and it's a little green for his taste, you would think. I mean, him dealing with all the death and monsters and werewolves and all this other stuff. And Link and his fairies, but he deals with dragons and monsters and all this as well. You'd think Link would be in his element. But Simon brought something that he was not expecting. A whip that can take away the Master Sword. Once he loses the Master Sword, it was pretty much game over. Now, granted, it took Simon almost the entire match to finally get the upper hand, with leading the match 10-8 as we got to the finals, and it was quite a barn burner, as you so graciously used earlier.
So are you saying that Link was disarmed by Simon Belmont?
That I'm saying that would have been the only way that I could think of. I mean, we even had some people inputting on Facebook that, the Master Sword was the greatest thing in the world. And in the end, he ended up losing the match. It was another upset victory for Simon Belmont.
To reiterate what they talked about, the Master Sword was designed to slay evil, and that which gave Link the huge advantage that he had when he was, as you play through the Legend of Zelda. He has this sword that was designed specifically to slay evil. The funny thing is though it is a phenomenal sword, much compared to like Excalibur as far as the caliber of weapon, Simon Belmont is just not evil. So all of the perks that this weapon had to help Link slay evil just kind of became nullified with the fact that it just really was just kind of another sword. So I mean that was the big discussion on Facebook about the weapon of Link and Simon Belmont, which I think ultimately laid heavy-handed as far as the score between Link and Belmont, letting him eke on past the Elite Eight.
I love how Rhaegar even referred to the Master Sword as almost the Zelda world's version of Excalibur from Arthur, and it's, I don't know, it came down, I heard a lot of different things. My wife was very pro Link for quite some time, but having talked with her, she didn't seem too upset that Simon won either, because I keep hearing from everybody that Simon's not getting enough credit. So I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how he pits up against Mario, and I'm sure we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, in fact we will.
Well, I guess you'd almost have to say that if Simon Belmont has the ability to beat a guy who carries a 6 foot Buster Sword in the first round, then even though Link fights with a little bit more finesse than what Cloud did, you're still talking range when you're talking a whip versus a sword. So
true. Well, maybe he just wasn't quite ready with his bow when the fight came to be.
Maybe.
Well, it's hard to shoot somebody with a bow that's cracking in the rear end with a 15-foot whip.
Funny watching him run around in a circle. Oh my
You guys are crazy.
Very much so.
We're moving over into the East bracket now, where we had, I mean, it was an equal of a pounding that Mega Man laid on Ryu. I thought for sure the master of the Hadouken would have, at least come to the table. I mean, geez. I mean, look at that score. That's 16-3. That's 16 votes for Mega Man and 3 for poor Ryu. Tony, I don't even know if I have to ask, but what in the world went on?
I think Ryu got one Ryuken off, and that was about it. Mega Man just basically wiped the floor, turned Ryu into a mop, and just cleaned up after himself.
Jeez, did you see at least any spin kicks?
I think there was a half of one. Yeah, Mega Man he got half one off, and Mega Man just started shooting him, and it just was over. He did not even stand a chance.
For all of you button smashers that played the Street Fighter series, we are bidding Ryu farewell, and we'll see you next time. And we're going to move on to the West bracket in the South, where we have Master Chief versus Sonic the Hedgehog in the Green Hill Zone. You voted to put Sonic in his backyard to face Master Chief, and the votes rang in surprisingly close, with Master Chief winning 11-9. And let me kind of break this down for you. As we discussed during the first round, which ultimately led for you voting whether it was going to be on the Halo ring or in the Green Hill Zone, the effects of Sonic not being able to advance the screen, or to be able to advance his arena in which he was going to fight in, or stand up to Master Chief in, or whatever, I think that ultimately is what doomed Sonic in his votes. I know, of course, Master Chief has never existed in 2D and has never had to establish this linear fighting style. But I guess that would kind of help when shooting rockets and throwing grenades, and ultimately just shooting in general, because you really only have one plane to shoot on. But with that being said, sure does make it a lot easier to hit someone that runs super fast when they can only run so far on a screen, back and forth. I know a lot of you were talking about how he wouldn't be able to shoot Sonic if he's running at supersonic speeds or his spin attack and things of that nature. But I think ultimately, the place where this the Green Hill Zone is what limited Sonic. I think maybe if he had been on the ring, he would have had a 3D environment that he could, dodge and move and get away from Master Chief. I think he could have probably stood a better chance. But the fact that Master Chief could just kind of camp in the back corner of this screen and just prevent Sonic from moving on. Ultimately, Sonic just ran out of rings, and he just you get hit with Sonic, his rings fly out. You're bound to lose a third of them, and you can only do that for so long. So ultimately, it was a good fight, 11-9, but Master Chief pulls out again. Sonic, we'll see you next time. So that leaves us with Mario, Simon Belmont, Mega Man, and Master Chief. I'm going to let the guys here take the winner of their matchup this week and just kind of talk about some maybe pros and maybe some cons of each one of their guys. Because we're in the Final Four here. And, I don't have a matchup that I can analyze that would be any better than letting Don talk about Mario and then Josh talking about Simon Belmont, and then we'll kind of figure out just from them talking kind of how the matchups play out. So we're going to go back to the West, and we're going to start with the man from Mushroom Kingdom with Mario.
All right, so in the last two rounds, Mario has been faced against some very unique opponents, and I think that's definitely going to come into his advantage in this fight against Simon Belmont. The first round, he fought Miss Pac-Man, which, although limited in what she can and can't do, her tenacity is definitely up there with that of Mario. I think Mario just kind of overshot her with his versatility. I think that it was a very similar match between Mario and Sub-Zero, because as a martial artist cryomancer, it's you can really kind of pigeonhole yourself in what you can affect your fight to get your advantage. So I think that Mario has just had a lot of really good preparation for each one of his matches, and I know that they're all dictated with votes and things like that. But really, when you weigh Mario against somebody like Simon Belmont, not to knock Simon because he's a very versatile fighter himself, but when you look at the advantage of Mario being able to store certain power-ups, even especially like in Mario 3, where you could have rows and rows and rows of power-ups, and you could just use them and use them and use them. You get 99 life, you know what I mean? With all of these advantages that Mario has, coming up against a guy like Simon Belmont, who doesn't necessarily have all of those same advantages, I think Mario is really going to give Simon a run for his money. And I know that it's Josh's dream to see the Cinderella story go all the way to the finals, like Butler a couple years ago in the real finals.
And they should have won.
Four. They should have, but you're only as good as your last game. So I think that in this match, I really see Mario pulling it out, especially because you're also talking about a 1 seed versus, I think Simon's a 7 seed. So you're talking about a huge upset. If Simon can pull it off against Mario, you're talking about a humongous upset. I personally don't think Simon's going to be able to pull it out for a third round. I could be wrong. It's not on me to decide 100%. I will definitely be voting But I think that I just think that Mario is just going to have a huge advantage over Simon because of his preparedness in this fight. So,
Josh, do you agree with that?
You know, Don, you're exactly right. You're only as good as your last match. And what has Mario's last two matches been? A complete butt whooping on Miss Pac-Man and a complete butt whooping on Sub-Zero. But
thank you for proving my point.
Simon, on the other hand, has had to take out your favorite, Cloud Strife, with him and his Buster Sword and his Materia.
I hate you.
And then he had to go forward and face Link, a number 2 seed, mind you, that also had magic and sword capabilities. Now, granted, Mario is the number 1 seed, but Simon's already proved he can beat a high seed. He beat a 2 seed. Sorry, Simon was the 2 seed, wasn't he? No. Take that back. What was? Let me check that. Check my states here. Cloud was the 2 seed. Link was the 3.
Yeah.
So he's already beat the next 2 highest contenders. He's only got to go through Mario at this point. Now, your versatility, I don't know much about the gameplay of Simon Belmont. The only thing I keep hearing about is this whip and the fact that he's constantly having to fight some pretty bad, mean guys. And with our role-playing experience, we understand how bad vampires, werewolves, and so forth can be. But when was the last time you faced a tortoise? Yeah, me either. Koopa shells, you know. We haven't run into that during role-playing. So my understanding leads me towards a guy who can defeat those nasty of a creatures is going to give Mario one heck of a run for his money. And yes, I know I'm shooting for the Cinderella here, but Simon has very clearly proven his capabilities by beating your favorite and my wife's favorite coming into this. So I got to put my trust in Simon right now. Even though I would love, just like you mentioned in the last episode, to see Mario and Master Chief, I gotta put my trust in Simon right now.
I think just as a quick rebuttal, when you're talking about tortoises, if you ever played any of the Mario games, Bowser is like twice the size of Mario, and you're talking Mario is, okay, yes, he's 8-bit or whatever.
He's like 4 times the size of the Wii Mario.
Yeah. But he's supposed to represent a human. Mm-hmm. Mario is supposed to represent a human being. So you're talking about a tortoise that has spikes on his back, can shoot fireballs out of his mouth, depending on which game you're playing, can fly around and throw things at you, versus...
And is 4 times your size.
And is 4 times your size.
So put that into perspective, Don. How tall are you?
I am 5'11".
So how big would that be?
4 times my size would be 24-ish feet, almost 24 feet, 23 and
some change.
Something. Yeah, 23 feet. 23 feet tall.
That's like Dragon Zord.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's it. No.
Yeah, but
unfortunately,
how do you kill Bowser? You drop him in lava. How do you kill Dracula?
You drop him in lava.
You could. So what does that mean?
Yeah, with a piece of a splinter.
With
a piece of wood.
With a piece of wood. Either way, though, I mean, there's most every game, even the most recent Mario, killing Koopa or Bowser has been the one of the easiest tasks in the game. It's getting to Bowser. That's the problem. I mean, remember the first Mario where you run across and grab an axe and he just falls off a bridge? Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And using that same standard, you're talking about a guy like Mario who not only has to fight so many Goomba tortoises and different man-eating plants and all these other things, bombs. I mean, seriously. And then he still has to fight a boss at the end of every stage. So you're talking I think it's I think there's 8 stages in Mario 3 if you are cheaty face and you use the flute.
There are 8 worlds, period.
Right,
in
there's
Mario
8
3,
worlds.
Yeah.
But you have to beat 8 of Koopa's children in order to even get to him. So I mean, you're talking about a guy who's going to be a lot more practiced. I personally feel is going to be a lot more practiced than Simon. I know I'm going to catch tons of flack for that. But
I don't think you will. The guys who are the biggest pushers behind Simon in the early rounds are Mario fans as well. So I don't think
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a very
I think
close
this is going to
battle.
be a very I agree.
I-
I
definitely gonna be one to
humbly
watch.
agree. I believe this is going to be a very good, a very close match. I think that if Simon pulls it out, that'd be pretty remarkable. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I'm Mario is my guy.
So we're going to move over to the East bracket, where Tony tell us a little bit about Mega Man and what some kind of advantages that he has, and maybe if any, if you could see any disadvantages for Mega Man coming up in the Final Four.
Well, first off, I'm gonna state something that it's gonna be a lot like the last round for Master Chief. It is really going to depend on where they're at, because it also depends on how equipped Mega Man comes in. If he's coming in with his full complement at, like, say, the end of X, then he's got a lot of stuff for Master Chief to fight through. And in a 3D realm, I would see Mega Man winning there, because he does have virtually limitless ammunition. And, he loses a form, he goes to a different style, and he keeps on going. And I really do see in a 3D realm where Mega Man, with his extremely versatile style of ammunition and being able to find nooks and crannies and get through places more than Master Chief would, pulling out a victory over Master Chief. But in a 2D realm, I still see Master Chief running into the problem of stopping him from advancing, and then having a straight showdown where I think Master Chief's shield would overtake Mega Man's abilities.
Short of the charge up blast ability that he acquires later in the series, I'm not sure that Mega Man has many weapons that will puncture this shield of his, regardless of where he's at.
Yeah.
As we talked about when we started this, anything short of a 50 caliber bullet from a gunship,
50 millimeter.
50 millimeter bullet. Yeah, 50 millimeter bullet. He eats those for breakfast, spits them back out, and continues on his way. So I just don't see Mega Man having that kind of firepower to be able to drop that shield. Like I said, short of maybe that blast, the charge blast that he acquires later in the series. But as far as versatility, I think, you're talking about Mario's versatility and all that over on the East bracket. But man, the stuff that Master Chief can do, he's got weapons galore available to him. He's got frag grenades and sticky grenades. Good. I mean, he can Red as Death You. For those of you who don't know what that's in the Xbox. I was teaching Don's wife how to play Halo, and she was wondering how you melee attack, and the B
default-
button,
the
the
default
default
controls,
button for that to happen is B, which was red. And so I just proclaimed to her, "Hey, red is death," and so it became known as the Red is Death. So he has that attack. I mean, good Lord, if he happens to get in the face of
With a
Mega
shotty.
Man, with a shotty, that's it.
Shotty melee.
One shotty shot in a butt to the face. and
Everybody in the world who's ever played Halo Online knows that trick.
Mega Man sucking teeth.
Well, here's the thing: you got a reminder from the Halo series. The one weapon that has always been like a bane to Master Chief has been the energy sword, correct? Right?
Absolutely.
Well, that is the basis of Mega Man's. It's an energy blast.
Yeah,
So you're
most
going to
of
be
his
that's
weapons are
another thing to
energy-based.
take into effect. Energy is one of the things that counteracts that shield. So you got to kind of keep that in play here.
I would agree.
So-
I would agree that here's the closest weapon, and I know we didn't all jump in on the Mario versus
No, by all means.
Simon, but I think we're all kind of passionate about.
That's because there's a clear-cut winner. Simon's going to beat Mario.
Yeah, well. Anyhow, getting back to Master Chief, in the world of Halo, the only weapon that I can think of that in one shot can drop Master Chief's shields is an overcharged plasma pistol, which, like Mike said, is the closest thing that Mega Man is going to have if he charges one shot.
Mega Man's arm is a plasma cannon.
What I'm saying is, if you shoot him with a plasma rifle repeatedly, you have got to empty that plasma rifle before you drop his shield completely. And in that amount of time, if he has a sniper rifle, if he has a rocket launcher, heck, if he even has the original pistol, you've got to work so hard to drop Master Chief's shields down low enough for you to actually make a fatal shot on him. And even after you drop the shields, depending on what you're using, you still got to shoot the heck out of him. So, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that in order for Master Chief to lose his advantage with a natural energy shield, Mega Man has got to utilize a charged bolt from his arm, and it takes him time to charge that bolt, which means he's only gonna get one or two opportunities to do that with the amount of speed and accuracy that Master Chief works at. Now, I love Mega Man, but I am the biggest Halo fanboy in the world. So you're going to be hard-pressed to sell me on Master Chief losing this match.
Sigma Sword.
Well, if
which is an energy sword.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that even in those series where Mega Man could charge his weapon, he has to stand still to do it. Which means he can't run, he can't duck, he can't hide. He has to stand and charge his gun. So, I mean, I would, I love Halo. I grew up playing Mega Man. It's going to be a very interesting bout. And I would like to see either one of them win. Ultimately, I think Master Chief is just going to pull it out because I think that energy shield is just going to soak up all of the extra versatility that he has in all of his ammunition that he can acquire and all the different forms that he can take.
Yep.
There's just very limited as to how much of that's going to actually punch through.
Yeah. I do see it coming down to two main factors, location and armament. Because, some of the weapons Mega Man gets, the energy swords, other stuff like that, could go through his shield, but it depends on how armored Mega Man is to start this fight and where it's at.
I agree. So as we are wrapping up here with the Final Four, I'm excited to talk to you guys a little bit about some other things that are happening in the world of gaming. I know if you guys are any type of followers at all of this podcast, we started this podcast around Gen Con, kind of around that era, around that time last year. And a couple of our panel members here, Josh and his wife, and Derek, if he ever gets released from his rehabilitation, are going to take some much needed time off, and they are going to go out to Missouri, and they are going to go to Fear the Con. Josh, you're going to go, so why don't you tell us kind of what you're expecting to see there, what you're going to do,
what it is,
what in the heck it is.
Just to kind of give some people a little bit of an introduction, Fear the Boot is another gaming podcast. If you get the opportunity, please check them out. They're a bunch of great guys. They've been doing this. They're over 260-something episodes, I believe. And they talk a lot more about RPGs, but they also, similar to our Versus topic, have discussion topic stuff just to kind of get people to know them. Dan and those guys are really a bunch of good guys. Derek has been following them for quite some time, and he's been to the Fear the Con event the last couple of years. What Fear the Con is normally it's a group of about, I think, 400 to 500 members, from what I understand, come to the Maryland Heights Center in Maryland Heights, Missouri. And it's kind of a small convention center, and they do 6 different zone sessions, whatever, of games that different people, there's even a comedian musician, Mikey Mason, which if you guys have not heard his stuff, he's hilarious. He comes in there and he runs games. The hosts from the podcast run games. Derek is actually going to be putting on a couple of he's going to be doing some charity things, a raffle for an iPad 2, but all money's going to go to a particular charity of called Gamers Outreach that help set up video game kiosks for hospital patients who are bedridden. So he's going to be doing $10 a ticket for that. Also, he's going to be doing something called Fear the Letter. It's his own little thing that is people are going to be able to write letters to the men and women overseas that are serving to protect the freedoms we have to play stupid games like this. And then finally, he's going to do what he's referring to as the Fear the Competition, which is going to be a role-playing competition. Again, that'll be $3 a person with all proceeds going back to Gamers Outreach, where he's going to put 6 tables together of role-playing game people, and the game masters at each of those tables will kind of rate their players based off their RP ability, their assisting of others, their best kill, and, of course, which one's the funniest. And that person who gets the best points from their game master's point of view will move on to the final round. And also, every table will be voted an MVP, and they'll get a stupid award for what I got to see what he called this because this was kind of funny. It'll be all set under the Pathfinder Society rules for the first round, and the second round will not be. And man, I am so sorry. Well, either way, he's going to get a.
It said right there he was be awarded a handmade trophy. Right there at the bottom. Now it's in the middle since you're scrolling.
Sorry.
Role-playing dice.
I know, I'm horrible at this. There it is. The competition, the Fear the Competition master. He'll receive a handmade trophy, $25 Paizo gift card, and the adoration and envy of all around them, or at least the 400 to 500 that'll be there. So,
And it looks like the rest actually get role-playing dice and a sham, which is
and
still pretty.
shame. No, not a sham.
Oh, shame.
Shame.
I can't read.
A shame. It's okay. Shame, which is quite funnier. So,
Yeah,
if it turns
absolutely.
if it
Shame.
turns out
Yeah.
that Deb ends because I believe Deb is going to be our participant in the tournament because I believe I'm
Very
going to be
cool.
one of the game masters along with Derek.
She has,
So-
she has all of the support of the Established Facts cast.
Yes, Deb will be
yes.
representing.
Represent.
I will have to take her under my wing
Yeah, there
and
you
tell
go.
her some of my secrets.
That would be very entertaining. So that's what's going to be going on. It'll be going on the week of. I can't do a real drum roll. I'm sorry.
He
yes,
has so
May
much
4th and
equipment
5th.
where he could put it out there. He's just too lazy to use it.
Yeah, I know, but whatever. May 4th and 5th. Again, if you're interested, go to fearthecon.com. Get registered. It's $40 a person. And find yourself a place to stay. If you're from the St. Louis area, it's near there from what I understand.
$40 for
so-
the weekend.
$40 for the
That's
weekend.
not bad.
It's
$20
not-
a day.
That's really not. And it's right across the street from, I believe we're staying at the Hampton, I think.
Oh, cool.
And then there is a hotel as well attached to the Maryland Heights Center. So, lots of love to the Fear the Boot guys. They have been doing it for quite a while, and we just hope that you guys are enjoying our information, and we also hope that you give Fear the Boot the opportunity because they helped a lot of other podcasts get started as well.
Awesome. Hey, Josh, do you happen to know how long Fear the Con has been going on?
Oh, I don't. They do have an annual. I'm assuming it's the 5th because it's called Fear the Con 5.
That's a pretty good assumption.
I would hope so. I mean, Gen Con doesn't get a number, but they're approaching their 45th anniversary.
Yep.
I know that because we live here.
That's very true. Donald, I believe that you had something that you wanted to say here.
Yes, I
here
have
as
my
well.
I have my own shameless plug for our podcast. today.
Shameless.
Shameless, shameful, whatever. Shame on me.
Shammy.
Or sham, yeah,
Bing,
whatever.
bang,
I
bang,
guess
bang.
if you misread it, sham.
That's why I said a shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. Yeah, that one too. For those of you who have gotten a chance to see our Facebook page, which is the Established Facts on Facebook, or if you've gone to our www.theestablishedfacts.blogspot.com, we have a link on there as well to our Cafe Press casting robot online store where we have some really cool merch that we have put together There's a couple things in there from some games that I believe both Josh and Derek have gotten a chance to run. But we've got some really awesome Established Facts merchandise. We're trying to get some more out there for everybody. But specifically, the reason I bring this up is because the Established Facts podcast, we will be at Gen Con this year.
In gear.
In the Established Facts gear on Thursday, the first official day of Gen Con. And we will have more details as far as time and location. But what we would love is for all of the listeners who get a chance to actually hear the Established Facts, have gotten a chance to vote on some of these polls, leave us comments, things like that. We would love it if you would take the opportunity to get on cafepress.com. I believe the website is www.cafepress.com/castingrobot, all one word. And you can get on there, look at some of our fun stuff. I mean, they've got anything between coffee mugs to T-shirts. They've even got like some cool T-shirts that look like old baseball shirts or whatever. They've got satchel bags and all kinds of, or messenger bags and all kinds of fun stuff. But we would love it if you could, even if you just get like the little, I think it's like a $5 coffee cup or something fun like that, or even if you can't get anything, send us some word that you're going to be at Gen Con this year. We are going to be in our gear, and we would love to get a big group picture of both the Established Facts podcast crew and all of our listeners that are going to be there. We love all of the input that you guys have put in. I'll tell you, I have seen so many comments on the last two, what I would consider to be the last two really hyped matchups. One between Cloud and Simon Belmont, and two between Master Chief and Sonic the Hedgehog. Both of those, I think, have gotten the most comments out of any of our matchups. And the last I remember, the Master Chief comment box had 13 comments on Facebook. So if you get a chance to listen to us, by all means, tell your friends and check out our Cafe Press store. We're going to have a lot more merch coming out to everybody, and hopefully, depending on how the fates fall, we might even have some fun merch to give away at Gen Con, depending on what happens. So that's all. That's my cheap plug. So
anybody else with a shameless plug?
Shameless
plug.
Jeez.
Nope.
No?
A shameless plug that's only put on by Mysteria.
That's right.
I hate you all.
Well, guys, as we wrap up here, I just want to say that we are absolutely ecstatic with the amount of input that you guys are putting in. Like Don had mentioned, the Facebook page. That's where we do all of our polls and all of our stuff like that. Just keep voting as the Video Game Madness League comes to an end.
2 more rounds.
Absolutely,
This one
2
and
more
one
rounds, and we will have the champion. Also, our thoughts and prayers are out with Derek as he is going through his rehab and his 37-step program, because we all know that 12-step programs don't work, and when you play video games, you have to explore every option to make sure you don't leave anything behind.
That's right.
So, Derek, in your 37-step program, we are here for you.
That's right. We miss you, Derek.
If you need anything, we are always available to chat. So from all of us here at the Established Facts, I'd like to thank you for listening to us for the Video Game Madness League. And Derek, get well soon, man. We miss you. Thanks for joining us.
Keep in mind that Cafe Press is not an established trademark by the Established Facts in any way, shape, or form. The NCAA as well. We thank you for allowing you to use your theme music, and we thank you, we love you, and please don't sue us.